Next thing that was a hot topic was the I-9 forms, which a lot of people aren't, everyone's heard of them, but not everybody understands what the requirements are, what they need. Anybody want to expand on that a little bit? If anybody has any questions about exempt versus non-exempt, again, just throw them out. Don't leave with a question mark on any of these issues.
Anybody?
No, and I mentioned earlier, I guess, I'll have time to speak here too, but it's amazing how many employers I have that call me, or I've been face to face with, and they say, what's an I-9? Seriously, I'm not sitting here being facetious about it at all. It's amazing. And my biggest concern here is okay, fine, here's an I-9. Obviously, there's the customs issue and is big across the country. We might not be confronted with it here as much as obviously as other places. But there is a process, okay, in a correct way, in a legal way to fill out those I-9s. But more importantly, or just as important, is storing them. That you have, okay, for an active employee, that I-9 on file for at least 3 years. Okay, for somebody that has left you terminated at least 1 year. Or bottom line is that with either an active or a terminated employee, 3 years or 1 year or whichever is the latter of the two. So it is important. You don't have to legally store them separately. I know the Department of Labor simply says they would like you to do that. That's their preference to have that done. And you store the actives, really, I guess what I suggest is alphabetically with the active employees, and on the terminations, then really on dates, but you store them separately in separate files. We will get into it more. We've talked to you a little bit too. The Department of Labor coming out and auditing more and more and more, and those fines are getting quite hefty. They're increasing all the time. So,
what's an I-9 penalty? $1,000 or $100?
It's a
was 10,000.
yeah.
Depends on whether it's intentional or not.
Right.
No.
Those penalties can even go into effect if you forget to shred a I-9 document. If you have a document on your premises, that employee's no longer there, it's been a few years, that does count against you for a penalty. At preference personnel, I-9 document retention is a nightmare. It is. We have staff coming and going, so we actually have 3 people on our team that are responsible for managing the retention process. We also do e-verification with everybody, so that's another important thing that we do. But we'll do random audits. So if you're working with a large number of people, you have change in staff. It's good to just do some self audits and being able to prepare for the DOL audit. Hopefully you won't get it.
What's the timeline to get rid of them? If someone's been terminated, you keep it a year and then
Keep it a year. Yeah.
and get rid of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the last 3 years, we're pretty compliant with that. Prior to that, we have quite a few missing. If we were to be audited, how would we go about that process? Should we try to get them now? Redo? There's active employees that don't have it. Should we go back and get I-9s?
Do you want to speak on that?
And you could sue Paul legally if you want to, but
Yeah, what's the,
No, what I've always said is, I think the Department of Labor is quite understanding, despite what we hear. If the intent is there, and again, I go back to one client again, this group of 40 I mentioned a couple minutes ago. They had one I-9 file when I took over their HR. They had one person that filled out an I-9, and their question was the same: what do we do? And I just simply said, as reasonably soon as possible, just go get one filled out on everybody. Just, at least you're there today. You can't go back. You can't do anything. And quite honestly, if anybody is interested and they want to see their filing system and how Ann has got the I-9 set up, it's literally like a Bible. I mean, she is right there now. So I would go back, maybe somebody will disagree with me, but just get up to date as soon as you can. You know, and then obviously move forward in the proper way. So. Make sense?
No, I'm gonna make some noise. I guess not. That answer that?